In this session, we will be testing V0 with Supabase support that got recently announced, and I just saw a post in the morning and now I was thinking, okay, I was trying to actually do this V0 and Supabase. Let's try it now, if it's supported, how it will work and so on. For the database, I guess it should be really easy, it should be fine. I'm curious about the authentication. Now, what we will be actually building? We will be building a SaaS to sell SaaS Starter Kit and actually sell our SaaS Starter Kit that we will create in this session. We will have there this landing page. We will click on Get Started. That will redirect us there. We will sign up or sign in. And then if I have a subscription active, which is done via Stripe, I will see this starter kit for me and I can get the repo, I can get documentation or even a video tutorial for it. In case I don't have subscription active, I will need to buy one. So I will go on view pricing plans and there I will subscribe and I will be redirected to Stripe and there I can pay. And after I will pay, I will get again on the page with the product and I will see that my subscription is active. Then we will deploy this to Vercel and that means our application will be live. Let's start with first prompt. Hey, I heard you now support Supabase for... Let's first ask about the Supabase. I'm right. It's awesome. To be honest, I don't want to read through this, but I will ask, you support also Auth with Supabase? Yes, Vercel does support Auth with Supabase. Prompt, hello, please create a SaaS app for me. It should have landing page with catchy heading, blah, 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 placeholder, and so on. Not so important, just something on the landing page. Navigation bar, where will be the sign in, sign up, and after Auth logout. I don't think V0 will actually handle this, but it can handle cursor via one prompt on the backend then, so it will be fine. Then, also logo on the left, I will put there superstar, for example. After the user will click on sign in, sign up, the Auth with Supabase should start. So I also asked for necessary code for this implementation and steps to see what we should do. Then also I asked for creation of model for the user and implementation for Supabase. And also after user logs in, I asked for some dashboard page where we just want some title. This is the dashboard and we can figure out the rest of the things later. I will hit send. Let's see what V0 comes with. It should create 1, 2, let's say 3 pages or 3 components, or 2 pages and 1 component as a navbar. This is the landing page. Now it should create the navbar. Yeah, as a component, library for Supabase. It also immediately sends the project structure, which is really nice. Actually, it wasn't sending it to me before a few days. Maybe I just put a bad prompt, I'm not sure now. But yeah, that's really nice. It also sends the steps. So sign in, sign up for Auth, then the dashboard, then the page, the landing page I mean, component, and the library for Supabase. So it tells us how to install this library. And it continues with writing the tables for us. This is something we will just execute in Supabase. And it will create these tables for us, which is great. So we just copy paste it and in a few seconds we have the table set for our application, which is awesome. Then we have all of these other things. We have there the environment variables we should set. So I think let's try now to execute these steps and let's see in which state our application will be. First, we will use command for creating a Next.js application. Paste this and I will put there a dot instead of my project because we already created a folder. There we can proceed to install. We will select Tailwind and App Router. There we will now put the project structure we got from V0 and we will ask cursor to create this for us. Now he created something, but it's definitely not everything, so we will mention it. Now it will create also the rest. Now as it created some placeholder files, we will put there the files from V0, so we will copy paste it there. We'll start with page, then I will continue with the navbar component. Then I will install these libraries. Now I will continue with this Supabase helper. I will paste sign in and sign up pages. Now with the SQL we will create a table in Supabase, also some triggers, which then after auth.user will be created, will create also a public.profile. So in public table it will create a new record for us, because the record is created then only in auth table, which we are not using. Now I will put also this dashboard page there and this application layout. This command for Next.js we already executed. This library installation I think as well, but we can make sure. And then we need to take these two environment variables. So I will create a new file .env and I will add it to gitignore, because we don't want this file to be accidentally pushed on GitHub. So we have there some issue with the library, but I think it's just enough to restart the IDE. Then what you need to do is to go into Supabase, create an account there or just log in. And after you are in and you have created your organization, you can there create a new project. After you will create a new project for your organization, you will get there, and there we can already see this anon, so we will copy it and paste it there into our environment variables. And also we will get this Supabase URL. So let's go back to Supabase and get this URL. So also copy it and put it into environment variables there. It will look like something like this. Now, after we have this, we will go back to v0 and we will go to this SQL. So there we will click on copy and we will go back to Supabase. There we will go into SQL editor and there we will paste the copied SQL. Now we will hit run and it will execute this SQL. So it will create table, create the triggers also for the profile table or object we have there. So now if we will go into table editor, we can see that profiles were created there. And how this will work is that after user logs in, it will create his profile or his user on this auth table. So it will be there and it won't be in our public user. How we want to handle this is that we just with this SQL created the trigger that actually after the auth user is created creates also the same one in the profiles public table. If you go there into database, you will be able to see there the triggers. So I will do the auth and I can see there the auth trigger we just created. This is the basic setup that v0 gave us. We executed all the steps and now we will just test it and see what happens and if this works or not. We see we have an error there, so I guess we would need to import the user. What you can do if you don't want to fix it yourself, you will just tell v0 the line and the component, so navbar line 16 we have an error, and v0 tells us to import a new version where we will get this user from this library. We will also set the user state to use the user type, and this library we already have installed. We can copy these two lines or we can just take this whole component. So let's have it like this. Now it's working. And what we can do finally, I copy pasted it there into navbar. Now it's fine. We can do npm run dev and let's see how this will work or how this won't work. So we are on our page. We'll click on get started. Okay, we will click on sign up. And there is the first issue. We should have there also folders sign in, and the second one sign up. In the sign in, we will create page.tsx. In the sign up, we will create a page.tsx. From sign in, we will put this code there. We can delete it. And for sign up, we will put the code there, save it, and delete it from there. Now we will go back to our page. We will go back to the landing page. We will click on get started. So we are now on sign up. There now I will put email and password. I will now click on sign up. Password should be at least 6 characters. So I put password 123. Click on sign up. Now I'm redirected to sign in. So password 123. Sign in. Email not confirmed. Okay. So I will go and confirm it in my email. And after confirmation, I'm in. Now it's time to check in Supabase. So we will go there in a table editor. Their schema will be public. And in profiles, there should be our user. And it's there. So it's there without the email address. I guess we can set it in a trigger also, because this email address is actually saved in the Auth. So there, if we in Auth, we go to users, there we can see we have our email, which is the user I logged in with. With just some updates to the trigger, I would be then also able to see the email of currently logged users in the profile table. Now we can do additional test to log out and click on sign in. There again, I will select my user, password 123, sign in, and it redirects me on the dashboard. I can log out. So this authentication actually works and it's perfect. What we are missing now though? Now we are missing a subscription model or some way how user can buy our product and how to implement this functionality where user will pay via Stripe and he will get the application we are offering. In our case, we will be selling our starter kit that we just now built. Now we will continue with this prompt to V0, how to make this app SaaS with Stripe, and it will tell us how to integrate the Stripe into our application. Let's now try if this will work and so on. Of course, I could show you how to do it, but let's say we will want this from V0. So let's see how's the V0 approach and let's just try it. So again, I will execute all these steps. First, we need to install the library. Then we can start with these pages and folders, creation, putting there the code. So now let's do it. First, I will run the command for installing the Stripe libraries. And the next step was to create a pricing folder. So in our app, we will create a pricing. Inside, we will create page.tsx. Then in our app, we should create checkout. Inside checkout, we should create a plan. And inside this plan, we will create page.tsx. Then what we should do next is to create in-app folder named API. Inside this API folder, we should create checkout session. Inside this checkout session, we should create route.ts. And again, also in API folder there, we will create a new folder called webhooks. Inside this webhooks folder, we will create route.ts, but I will do there just one additional thing. I will create an additional folder Stripe, and inside this Stripe folder, I will create route.ts. Now let's put code into these newly created pages. So first one for the pricing. Then next for the checkout plan. Then next one for the create checkout session. And next one for the webhook. Then we should update our table in Supabase. So let's go into Supabase, let's go there into SQL editor, let's put it there, and let's run this. We were successful. Now we can go back to V0. Next step is to update the dashboard page. So let's copy this code. Let's go to dashboard folder, and there on a page, we will put it there. Now what we should do is to get these environment variables, put it into our .environment file, and we will get the actual environment variables from the Stripe page. And I will now show you how you can do it. First, you will log in or sign up to Stripe, and then in Stripe, you will create a new product, and there in the new product, we will go into developers. There we will go into API keys, and there we will take the publishable key. Then we will go to our IDE, paste it there, and we will go back for the secret key. We will click on reveal and then click again, so we will get it to clipboard, and we will paste it into our .env file, so into our environment variables. I have there the publishable key and the secret key. I will put a name for these environment variables. As this will be a public one, I will put there next public and then Stripe publishable key. And for the secret one, I will put Stripe secret key. Then we will go back to Stripe page. There we will go to product catalog. And you can see I already have there 2 products, but I will create a new one with you. So let's click there on add product. I will name it thumbnail previewer. There I will put yearly subscription for a thumbnail previewer app. Day I will put recurring. Then I will put yearly $20, or let's do 19.99, and I will click on add product. Now it will save the product. Now I will click on the product, and there I have a product ID, so I can click on it and it will copy the product ID for me, which I will save into my environment variables also. And there I will click on 3 dots and I will copy the price ID. So this price ID I will save in my environment variables, so I will do there Stripe price ID like this, save it. Now I have the publishable key, secret key, and the price ID of our only product. You can see it like this. I put it there. And last environment variable we will need from Stripe is the Stripe webhook secret. So let's prepare it there. This is not the secret you should put in. For the secret, you will get this actually generated from the terminal. So what we need to do now, we will go there on webhooks. We will click on test in local environment, and there we will get a guide what we need to do in order to set up the Stripe for webhooks. So first we will need to download the client. There you will select your system. For me it's Windows. There I will download this zip file from GitHub. You will unzip it. Then you will open the folder. Then you will open an environment variables in your computer, and you will add a path to this .exe file there. You will open your terminal. You will write Stripe there, and you will get this information. That's how you will know you successfully installed the client. There we will go back to this page. Then we will put there this first command, Stripe login. We will copy the URL, open it there. There we will see the word. We will click on allow access and access granted. Now if we go back to that page, we will see there completed. This base URL will be localhost 3000 for now because it's not deployed. We will copy this forward events to your webhooks. Now we'll go there. In a command line, we will put this. We will, instead of 4242, put there 3000. And we will do webhook / Stripe. And there, before webhook, we will do API /. It will look like this. API webhook Stripe. Now we will hit enter. It will generate us the webhook secret. So you need to save it into your environment variable. Now if we will try to do Stripe trigger payment intent succeeded, we can see that we are successful, so it should be working. Now let's check which errors we have there. UI button, and UI button. So what we will do, is it everywhere? API version, so let's fix it there. I think we just need to update it to this one. There, I think we should do the same thing. So let's just copy and paste it there. And there, what we need to do, we need to do npx set cn at latest at button. And I think this should work. Yes, New York, neutral, yes. That should create a new UI folder in our components with the button. And we can do again npm run dev, and we can test the checkout to Stripe. Before we start, I see I have a typo there. Actually, this webhooks folder, let me rename it to webhook. And before we actually test to buy our product, we need to also update Stripe product and price IDs in create checkout session. And we can do it now. So let's go to our Stripe. I will actually open a new window. There I will go into products. I will click on add product. There, new SaaS product. I will put there the pricing options. So I will click on more pricing options. I will select there US dollars, 19.99. I will click on next. I will click on add another price. I will create 9.99 and also 49.99. I will click on next, add product, and now we will get its IDs. First, I will go onto my new SaaS product. There I will get the first ID. Now we need to store somewhere the product ID and price ID and so on, but the code is actually not using the product ID. I will ask about it, or I asked about it, and the response was to create these environment variables, also to store it there and update the code a bit. Although it again recommended 3 product ID and 3 price IDs, which is not correct. We have one product there, which has this ID. Let's just again mention it there, and now we can see we get to update our environment variables with these IDs, and then we will update these files and it should be fine. So into environment variables I will put these fields, then back to my Stripe I will get the product ID from there. I'm on my product. I will put the product ID there. Now I will put there the price IDs. Copy price ID. I will put it there into the environment variables. Then we will get the second one. Again, paste it there. And then the last one and do the same thing. Now we have this. We can go to v0 again. There we should create stripe config.ts in our lib folder. So we will copy this one. We will go to lib folder and create there stripe config.ts. We will copy this create checkout session route. We will go back to our folder. There we will put it. I will just put it like this because I want to get the stripe prices. Otherwise I would like to keep this API version update we did before. Now if we go back to v0, there we miss only pricing page. Copy it. I will go into the pricing page, paste it there. We can address this to v0 now, that this doesn't exist on our pricing page. And we get a response with the fix. We can now take it. There we have also some description to it, but we will now put it into our pricing page, save it. Now on our page, let's go to dashboard. There view pricing plans. There we can do subscribe to the basic version. Now proceed to payment. Now we are redirected to Stripe, forwarding the events to our webhook. You run in your Stripe CLI this Stripe listen forward to localhost 3000/API/webhook/Stripe. And if yes, you can fill there the data, put 4242, something like this, some name. Now pay and subscribe. And we should be redirected to some success page. I think in our case, maybe it's a redirection to the product itself, so to the dashboard. Now, if we refresh, let's see, but there is still the you don't have an active subscription. I guess it's because we don't have a webhook set for getting the actual info about the subscription. Let's check the database though. So let's go to Supabase, let's go to the table editor, let's go to profiles, and let's see. We don't have any subscription ID or subscription status. Now we need to create a webhook for getting this subscription and then seeing it in our application and showing there the product. For creating the webhook, I asked V0 that I was able to pay, and now we need to get some webhook to get us back the subscription so we can then take actions and show our application if the subscription is active. Now I have the response and we can execute the steps. So first we should update the webhook handler because this is containing the new method for handling the subscription update. So let's go there and into webhook we will update it. Then we should add something to Supabase table, but first we can go on to dashboard page and update it there. Now we also should update this create checkout session in our API folder. Again, we can copy it and update it. Now we will copy this and we will go into Supabase. There we will go into SQL editor and there we will run this. And yeah, we already have this subscription ID and subscription status, so let's delete it. We will fix these API versions, so we need to put there the 2024 version. Same for this webhook. Now we see we have this error there, so we will just hand it to the V0. There we will get the answer, so we can run the query. And we will update our dashboard page. Also with the other query and update the application layout. We can see there in debug that this error is still there. So we will need to do something else. Meanwhile, let's just fix this layout.tsx in our application. I will put there the navbar. And we will also put these imports on the top. But if we try to check out, we still can see that we don't receive any subscription back, so we need to further investigate this issue. So after a while spent on Reddit or Stack Overflow, I found there this solution, so we will now take it. And I will put it into description so you can also take it. We will take it to the SQL editor in Supabase. There we will run it. And now in our IDE, if in Stripe CLI we will trigger the Stripe subscription updated. Now we can see everything was successful, so it's working. Also on our page, we don't have an active subscription, but if we pay, and now it seems that we broke the payment, so we will fix it. There we can just paste the error, and again, we can get the solution from V0, so we don't need to check through all the code. So update the pricing page. Now let's test it. So let's click on subscribe. Let's fill in the data. So 4242 for cards, then some code there, then some name, and click on subscribe. And now we get redirected back to dashboard and we can see the subscription is active. And if we will check the database, we can see that we also have it stored there. So there we will tag it, do Ctrl+K and ask, please make a nice modern UI for my subscription plan. So Cursor is generating this for us. Now we can just accept it, save it and see how it will look like. That's a nice starting point, I would say. This design looks pretty basic, so yeah, we can enhance it later, but the functionality, it's working, so I guess it's fine. And now what we need to do? Now what we will do is that we will ask for our starter kit application, so when user will pay it, we need to display some nice UI where he will have the starter kit and some documentation, so he will get what he paid for. Now I will get these 3 pages from V0, and he put it in the starter kit, which is fine. But I guess we will keep in starter kit just the code preview and the documentation, and the page.tsx that you can now see in the starter kit we will take into the dashboard page.tsx. And there will be just check that in case he doesn't have an active subscription, this won't be generated for him. So now I took it from the V0, I will copy everything from this page and I will put it there. But we need to be careful, we need to put this into this block in case subscription is active. So I will put it into this div. We also need to import this card header and so on. So let's take it from imports. Also with this constant with starter kit. Now as we pasted it, we need to delete the duplicate imports. We need to put there the correct path again. And now it's working, so we have it merged. We can delete this page.tsx in starter kit, and these 2 files we can keep it there. So this is how our application currently looks like. We have there the code, the documentation, we have there the information about subscription, and yeah, that's it. After the user's subscription is active, he will see this information for the starter kit, and in case his subscription will be deleted, so he will cancel it and it will expire, so this status will get changed to any other status than active. For example, we can just make it null for now. If you refresh, you can see you don't have an active subscription and the application with the starter kit is gone. That's it for the application, and now we can play with the paths, UI and so on. Now you will go there, click on v0.dev, and there we will select themes. I will select a midnight one. There you will see how the theme will look like on this template. We will click on clone theme, and there we will update the primary button, so I will click there on the primary, select the color I would like to use. So it's this one for me. Then I will copy code. First I will start with the CSS. I will paste it in globals.css. Then I will input there the font I would like to use. So I will use this bricolage grotesque. I will select there, copy the fonts, go back in layout. I will now need to insert it there. So it will go on this line, but yeah, let's put it below this code. From there we will take the font heading and font body. We will put it there. This I can delete. I will put there the imports, delete the duplicates. There I will just change the body tag for the one I have there, then I can delete it, and that should be it. Now I'm missing only the tailwind configuration, so I will copy it, put it there on our tailwind.config.ts, and I can save it. Now I see there's some errors, so I will fix it. Let's just delete font body and font heading for now. We will save it, and that should be fine. On our page we don't see the colors yet because we are using their defined colors already, so we will need to change it. But if we go to our application on dashboard, you can see the theme is applied. We will go to code. First we will start with the navbar, and there we will need to change the background to background, not to blue 500, and text to foreground. Now that will fix our navbar. We will go to page, to landing page in our app, and there we will fix it also, so background will be primary for our button, and when we will hover it, we will use also primary with opacity to 0.9. Text we will set just to black, that should be fine. And now we need to fix it for this subscription plan page. So let's just go to this page in our subscription or pricing. We take everything, do Ctrl+K, and we put there, please set the colors properly so it's nice UI. Currently, background and text are not set accordingly. And we will hit enter, that will generate it for us. Now we will accept it, save it, and our pricing page will be fixed. And this is how the final version would look like. What I did is to update this button, update the color a bit, play with it more. Then also I added there a demo picture. How I did the demo picture is that I just took a screenshot of the folder. Then I added there also tailwind icon, stripe icon, and Supabase icon, because these are the third parties that we are using in our product. If you want to refine this even more, you can also put there that this is the styling with tailwind, there is the payment with stripe, and Auth and database held in Supabase, and just make this even nicer. Of course, also make the design nicer. Didn't spend much time on it, to be honest. Then when we will go to dashboard, as I'm logged in, I can see there I have active subscription. I can see when the subscription ends. There I can see my email also. There I have the starter kit. There I will have the GitHub repository with this starter kit. Then a link to documentation, or maybe even a video tutorial. That means if you want to also walk through your user through this starter kit, you can add a non-public video to YouTube and then just link it there. There will be the code or sample code or sample documentation also. You can choose what to put there, and yeah, that will be it. Now again, let's test the final flow of our application, which is to subscribe, unsubscribe, and have this product or not. I will go into Supabase, there I will go into table editor, profiles, and I will delete the subscription from there, so I will set this to null. Then I will go back into our application, let's go on pricing plans, let's subscribe. There I will fill in the information, of course some random information with this 4242 card, then pay and subscribe, and we get redirected back with active subscription. Now I guess the last part is some responsivities that we can fix right now. Let's go to the landing page, and there I will take advantage of cursor. I will tag all, Ctrl+K. Please make this landing page responsive. And there it is. I will accept it, save it. Now we can check how it looks like. And it looks like it's not working. And because we need to use image when we are showing this URL, so I will delete this. Now I think it should be fine. Let me fix this myself. I will go delete this min height screen and put there py24, and on medium py. Oh, actually, let's try this. Yeah, I think it's fine for mobile, also for desktop. Now we can fix the navbar. We don't actually even need to make this somehow responsive because we have there just login, logout, and dashboard. What we will do is that we will find the div that holds this, and we will take this flex wrap from it. Then I think there we can do something like this. And if we will go into dashboard, I will now show you how it looks like. On dashboard, we need to fix this application page. Let's go there into dashboard page. And there, dashboard page. And there, let's just do composer. Please make this page responsive. Let's see what it figures out. Hopefully something, so I don't need to fix it myself. And it looks like it handled it well. Yeah, I like it. Then I think that's it for our application, actually. It looks good. Now, before we deploy our application, we need to make sure about two things. First, .env file is in gitignore, because we don't want to publish this on GitHub. Second one, we are not using anywhere hard-coded localhosts. So let's search all localhost. Now we can see it's only in our env folder for next public base URL, next public base. Okay, it's being used in the routes for the success and cancel URL after the Stripe payment. So what we will need to do is to set this next public base URL in environment variables on Vercel to the domain of our page, not to localhost 3000. Otherwise, we should be fine. Now we need to publish this project on GitHub. Let's go to GitHub to auth this, continue. There we got the code. I will copy this, use password. Now my device is connected. That means back to cursor, I will publish this GitHub to a public repository because I will give this code to you. So yeah, it will be public in the end. Now I see successfully published on GitHub. I can do open GitHub. And now I will go to source control because there's much more files than we actually published. So I will click there and stage the changes. I will do their update. I will click on commit, synchronize changes. Okay. Now if I will go onto GitHub and I will refresh it, I have there the components, library, in application. I have also all the folders what we created. And I think we are ready to do the Vercel deployment. After login to Vercel, I will there click on add new project. In the Git repository, I will select this one, SaaS Supabase, which I now just published. I will click on import. I will click on deploy. Now we got some errors. Let's go and fix them. First, user ID in webhooks. Now on dashboard page, we can see that these imports are not being used. Let's remove them. Also, if we go into layout, we are not using the inter font. We will also remove it from there. Then if we go to pricing, there is some problem with router, also not being used. We can remove it from there. Now we can try to deploy this. Now this should be deployed to Git, and we can rerun the deployment on Vercel and see if it will work or if there are some additional errors we need to fix. Some next things, we are not using this session also in the layout. Then if we go into page, we have imported the image from next image there. We are also not using it. Then we should put some special sign for this, but for now, let me just delete it. And let me double check if it's somewhere else also or not. Should be fine. Also this Supabase is not used. There again, let's for now remove this quote. In layout, create server component client, I guess also the cookies. We need to deploy the changes again. Now we will need to filter all the environment variables. You can see in .env file these environment variables, and now one by one you will edit there into environment variables. Now I will edit there manually and then I will hit deploy. And we have our project deployed. Next thing what we need to do is that we will continue to dashboard. We will take our domain, this one. Now we will go to settings. There we will go to environment variables and we will set this domain to an environment variable that is named next public base URL. Now I set it, I can open a page and it's working. I'm there. Now we have our project also deployed, and that will be it for this session. Thank you for watching and I hope I will see you in the next one. Cheers.